call the meeting
Yes,
to
I
order.
can hear you now. Thank you.
My name is Denise Wells, and I'm the chair of the Seattle Civil Service Commission, and I'm calling this meeting to order. The time is 2:04. We are holding this meeting in a hybrid in-person and online format. The public can attend in person or watch online. This meeting is being recorded. For commissioners, staff, and others participating in the meeting, I ask that one person speak at a time. If you are participating remotely, please ensure that you mute yourself while others are speaking. For participants, when you speak, please state your name, and it's important that only one person speak at a time. This is to ensure that the recording of the proceedings is clear and understandable. The agenda is posted on the Civil Service Commission's website, and we will proceed according to the agenda. I will start by reading the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the Duwamish people. We honor the land itself and pay our respects with gratitude to the Duwamish people, both past and present. Let us take a moment to reflect on the history of this land, the contributions of the Duwamish people, and the importance of reconciliation and respect for Indigenous communities. This acknowledgement aligns with CSC's commitment to its guiding principles and values of integrity, equity, and accessibility for all. And the second thing on the agenda is commissioner introductions. And I'll start. My name is Denise Wells, and I am a Seattle Civil Service Commissioner, currently the chair.
My name is Ray Caesar, Civil Service Commissioner of Employee Elected.
Steve?
Do we still have you, Steve?
Maybe he needs to unmute.
Steve?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Stephen Swear. Introduce the commission.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Staff?
Oh, I'm Andrea Shealy. I'm the Executive Director of the Commission.
Joe Levan, Legal Counsel for the Commission.
Sarah Butler, Operations and Policy Advisor.
Teresa Jacobs, Executive.
I'm Wade Burnett. I'm here from the Ethics and License Commission.
Great, thank you. And the next thing on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. And has everyone had a chance to look at the agenda and agrees with what's on it or has any changes?
I move to adopt the agenda as provided.
I have one change. I want to move the approval of the minutes to directly after the adoption of the agenda. So if I can have a motion to approve the agenda with that one revision. Is there a motion to, can you give me a motion to do that?
Sure, I move to revise the agenda to what the.
I want to move the approval of the minutes to item number 4. So we'll do that
I
next.
move to revise the agenda to move the approval of the minutes to item number 4.
Is there a second to that motion? Steve, can you second that?
You can second.
I second.
I'll second it.
Denise can second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, yes.
We do have Ann Bold also. We did not introduce-
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. She's
Hi, I'm Ann Vold. I'm also counsel to the commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the agenda has been adopted. Thank you. And now we're going to welcome the new commissioner.
Well, I'll be the first to welcome Commissioner Steve Zwerin and let him introduce himself. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you, everybody. I apologize. That couldn't be the commission.
No problem. Will you tell us a little bit about yourself by way of introduction?
Yeah. I apologize. The afternoon is a little bit behind. I'm dealing with COVID, so I'm trying to catch up with this afternoon. So my name is Steve Swear, and I'm an attorney by training. I was the city of Seattle most recently as director of the human resources investigation unit. Absolutely loved it, living in the city and made a lot of great friends there and worked with some incredible people. I'm now looking for a private employer and thrilled to be part of this commission.
Great, well, welcome. We're glad to have a full commission.
Very glad.
The next item on the agenda, item number 6, is public comment. Teresa, did the commission receive any public comment for today's meeting?
There was none in writing or in person.
Okay, thank you.
Chair Wilson, you move the minutes up for approval?
All right.
That's right. Okay, we're going to now, I make a motion to approve the minutes
Yes.
of the December 8th meeting. Did everyone review the minutes? And if so, can we get a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the monthly minutes for December the 8th as provided. With no
And
correction.
I second the motion, and all those in favor say, she was not a member at that time, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so the minutes from the December meeting are approved. Now, public comment. We've already done that, so on to our guest speaker.
All right, well, thank you very much, Chair.
May I switch with you so you can be on camera?
Unless you can expand, I'm not sure expand the.
I don't think we can. To turn it. Yeah.
Yeah, she can.
Yeah, there's, everyone's too far away if
Oh, okay. All right, well, thank you. As you all, I'm hoping know, you're all subject to the ethics code as members of the Civil Service Commission.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
all for
very
many years
familiar.
before, so yes. And really, the ethics code really just boils down to 3 things. First, about transparency, making sure that if you have a matter that comes before you where you are related to the person who's a moving party or any way, you know, if they're a roommate of yours, any of those things, you have to recuse yourself for those kinds of relationships. If there's anything else, let's say somebody you know from the Seattle Center, you know from City Light, then you just disclose that. You just say like, hey, you know, this person before us, I worked with them for 20 years. And that's what you need to do. And if it's anything, there are also written disclosures. That's important in times. And I think Joe will help you out if you ever have to do a written disclosure. So it's really about that. That's 90% of what you're going to ever encounter here in terms of the ethics license code. Other thing is,
So we don't necessarily have to recuse ourselves if it is an employee from our prior.
no, unless you feel like you can't be objective, like unless you feel like, ooh, this person is a good friend of mine.
Right.
Yeah, then you probably should step out. The other thing is you can't misuse your position. I'm not sure how you could misuse your position on the Civil Service Commission, but if you could, please don't. And that's I think the classic thing is like the mayor or a council member being pulled over for drunk driving and saying like, don't you know who I am? That's kind of the big thing of like misuse of position. That's what we're worried about.
Yeah.
So
And I think also, and we have some rules in the civil service, administrative rules as well, but if you have firsthand knowledge of the facts in a case, do disclose that and probably recuse yourself also. And Joe and I are always available to consult, as is Wayne.
right.
I think it's kind of a distinction. What Wayne is talking about is, as you know, the city's code of ethics. And then for civil service, through our own rules, when you have hearings, there's a whole separate and more detailed set of considerations related to disqualification if you have certain interests. But there's ways, as Wayne's talking about, generally it's addressed by disclosing on the record what the conflict potentially is. And then if you can attest, or generally if this sense is clear that you can be impartial, then you can proceed. But I think our advice is always if there's any doubt, then recuse, because then there's no question from, especially in a hearing type situation, that you are not impartial, but then it calls into question the fairness of the proceedings.
The other misuse position I sometimes see with commissions, like, please don't ask any of the staff to do things for you which are not part of their official duty. Please don't ask them to like write letters of recommendation for you or your kids. That's just probably a good thing to avoid. The other thing you have to watch out for is gifts. Anything that somebody would be giving you that could be seen as an attempt to influence your decision or to like at least even get your ear for a couple minutes. That's not okay. So if a moving party invites you out to coffee, they're probably gonna tell you just don't go because that's not okay. I'm just gonna tell you like don't let them buy your coffee. That's a problem. And yeah, that's all the ethics code really does. It's like watch out for conflicts, misuse of position, and gifts. Oh, the other thing is that you have to watch out for is if you're ever going to consider doing any work, this is probably for you as much as anybody, Steve, any work for the Civil Service Commission or like a department, please talk to me before that because it could get complicated.
Yeah, some examples we've known of in the past is commissioners who potentially do investigative work or other kinds of consulting work. I don't know if any of you do that as as your own personal business or part of your professional practice. But it's always good to communicate early and often about that kind of thing. And it very often can be managed, especially if we have early notice of it and can make sure that the appropriate screens are set up so as not to give you any information or, financial relationship with people who may be or may become parties to a matter that is before the Civil Service Commission.
That's really my whole spiel. So, any questions? No. You thought that thing's training a lot longer than that.
One thing I could add, because I work closely with Wayne, the Ethics and Elections Commission, is that Wayne's approach is really effective. He's very approachable and very helpful. So if you have it's always best if you have any question to be proactive and just give him a call and just ask him, if you have any question about whether or not something could be a conflict. Same with me in terms of our commission. But Wayne has dealt with me for many years, so he's heard everything from all different angles, and he's oftentimes just through that phone call you can resolve a situation or deal with it instead of having to do some kind of formal proceeding.
I think we've called Wayne many times from sales center.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
We often have some gray areas there in that department.
Yeah, I think that's really helpful for the city because then you have some more of an informal process that can be very effective.
Great.
So when you look here, we do have item number 11. It's a financial interest statements. Can you talk a little bit about?
Oh yeah, that's just what we forward out in the public record any financial interest you have. So that's just, if you have any financial dealings with the city, you just have to disclose those. So yeah, it's for you guys, it's just a 3-question form. I don't think it takes most people more than 5 minutes. So, yes.
That's required on an annual basis.
Yes, annual basis. No different than when you're employed.
We do it electronically now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thanks,
See you.
Wayne.
Thank you. I'm gonna take your seat.
Sure.
You can forward.
Good to see you.
Okay, next item is updates and discussion.
All right, so we do have a financial report in your packet, and that starts at page 3, right behind the minutes. So this is a snapshot of where we are at this point in the year. This was probably PDF'd a couple of days ago. But as you can see, our total adopted budget has been loaded into the city's system. This is a Power BI report. So there are, some clickable options that you can't click on this form. But it shows our total budget for the year. Our encumbrances are not yet showing up in there. So there's a couple additional legislative pieces that are still moving through the pipeline, but I believe we have encumbered about 30 or 40,000 from last year that has yet to be spent. And it's giving you a little bit of information about what has been spent so far this year, couple of months in. We also have a little bit of carry forward that I'm hoping will get approved as well. Before the meeting, Commissioner Wells asked about where did we end for the departmental budget for last year, and I do have a little information to share with you. We did not exceed our budget, thank goodness. In 2025, we actually were underspent by about 8%. We spent 89.7% before our encumbrances. We had about 170 in encumbrances. I'm not totally sure where we came out on that, how much of those encumbrances we spent, but we were underspent. The way we've been managing our budget this year is making sure, of course, that we only spend within our allocated budget. But last year, 2025, was the first year that we had the police and fire exams unit within this department, and there were some additions in that budget as well. So the deal that I have with the budget office is it's a tentative deal, right? Based on the city's available budget, but hopefully we'll be able to see how the budget spends in this department for at least 2 years before we're making any adjustments, because this is a new body of work in this department, not a new body of work entirely, but a new body of work for this department. And we are finding out things as we go. Also, as sort of a separate matter, prices are always increasing, but we're in the process right now of not only working with the city budget office and developing the next biennium budget, 27-28, but also in forecasting our expenses, which are outside of labor and fixed central costs are consultant costs with our vendor companies that we work to develop our exams. Happy to take any questions from y'all.
That's great.
All right. As for our departmental report, I'm really happy that I don't have any major projects. We don't have any major new initiatives on our plate. We've had a lot of success this year. This is the second year in a row we've done firefighter testing. I won't go into the details, but it was extremely successful. So that's the first year we've done it 2 times in a row. So pulled it off. It was pretty wonderful. Otherwise, we're not moving offices. We're not adding staff at this time. We are just chugging ahead and doing our work. And it is all going very well. So I'm sure that, that's all, everything's subject to change. That's one thing we know about the city of Seattle, but we're just moving forward with our work with everything on schedule.
Have there been any new sort of things come from the mayor's office since the new mayor's been effective civil service commission?
Not so much for us. I'm sure you've seen in the news, the mayor is requesting departments to propose reductions. For us, it's a 5 and 10% reduction. I think that might be true for all departments. At least that's what I read in the Seattle Times. So I'm working to get with our budget office to put that picture together. And I might be able to share more later on in the year, but those budget discussions are confidential and deliberative until usually about September. But I'm hoping, it would be a significant reduction to our budget to even do 5%. I think the year before that, the proposal we had to make was 2%. And that would have been a severe reduction to our work. Our budget is mostly tied up in central costs and labor costs. So, and we have a big majority of our promotional exams, actually all of our promotional exams are required to be administered every 2 years. That is by law. So there are not a lot of places that we can find reductions. We have no programs that are discretionary.
Right.
And so we're pretty close to the bone already. So I also tell the budget office that you get the biggest bang for your buck from the civil service department because every single police officer and every single firefighter is hired and promoted through our department. Can't be done without our department. And so if there's a cut to civil service, there's a cut to the Seattle Police and Fire Departments. So as I said, we don't have anything that's discretionary, and so it's tough to find reductions. We're also our budget, although large in number, is very small compared to almost every other department. So I'm not going to count my chickens before I hatch, but that's the case I'll be making. Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. But departmentally, we have the best employees and staff in the city of Seattle, so things are going very well over here.
Great.
I'll be happy to move on to the key status report unless I can answer any more questions for you. Good. All right. So So our case status report starts at page 4 of your packet, right behind the budget report, and we only have one appeal before the Civil Service Commission. The materials follow that case status report, and that is the Franklin v. Parks matter. Mr. Franklin filed a grievance through the employee grievance process. He exhausted his administrative requirements there, and he filed a timely appeal with the Civil Service Commission. He alleged violations of Personnel Rule 1.1 and Personnel Rule 1.3. And would like to appeal those. Appeal the step 3 grievance decision before the Civil Service Commission. We get both disciplinary appeals and rule and ordinance violation appeals here at the Civil Service Commission. The disciplinary appeals, this is not a disciplinary appeal. This is sort of the other kind that can be a little more factually complicated. And so my recommendation, due to several factors, is that and which I will go into, is that the commission vote to delegate the hearing in this matter, Franklin v. Parks 2607001A, to the Office of Hearing Examiner for hearing and proposed decision. The reasons for my recommendation are, one, that we have a brand new commissioner. This is Commissioner Zawarin's first meeting, and we do have a number of, although he's a pretty savvy customer, having been a former employee of the city of Seattle, an HR professional and attorney. There's a couple things that we need to get handled with his onboarding and training. Mr. Franklin is entitled to a prompt a hearing as we can provide. And I wonder if getting all of us ramped up on the same page would delay Mr. Franklin's hearing, where the Office of Hearing Examiner would definitely be able to move more swiftly on this matter. Just for your information, Commissioner Zawarin, the Civil Service Commission is authorized by its own rules to delegate a matter for hearing in whole or in part to the Office of Hearing Examiner, and then they follow, our precedent, the commission's precedent and commission's rules in conducting that hearing. The commission also retains the right to, and the duty, I think, to review that hearing record and proposed decision before it is final. And then I believe there is also, forgive me, but I believe there is a process for sending that back to the Office of Hearing Examiner if the commission determines, if the hearing reviewer determines that there is more work to be done, or they don't agree with the proposed decision of the Office of Hearing Examiner. And that is what I propose in this case. It is entirely your all's decision, but that is the recommendation that I would make.
And to clarify the way, so in terms of the delegation is actually in the city's charter that the commission can delegate if it wants to. So it's an important option to have available for the commission. As Andrew said, you don't need to exercise that option, but you can do so. And the hearing examiner has considered matters from the Civil Service Commission, many matters over the years, and is well positioned. Because there's a lot that goes into hearings, obviously, related to witnesses, subpoenas, potentially, just the proceedings themselves, all the procedural matters that in the hearing examiner's office. It's not just the examiner, they have an office of people that's all they do. So they're really well positioned to do that. And as Andrew said, the way the process works through your rules is that it's that decision then comes back, the hearing examiner's decision comes back to you as a commission, and then you make the ultimate decision. So they basically do all the work on it, they make a decision, and then you decide if you're going to uphold that decision or if you're going to modify it or otherwise. So that particular process, especially because the commission doesn't get many hearings, which is fortunate, but it also means that it would take quite a bit to get the training to get you up to speed, which we can definitely do, and we will do regardless.
Yeah, we're gonna do it either way.
Yeah. But it is there's a lot of work that goes into a lot of time and work, which you all could definitely do. But just something to consider that the hearing examiner, again, is well positioned to do these kinds of proceedings and is very professional about it. And so if you had any concern about the person here, the appellant getting a fair process, you can be assured that they would get a very fair process through the hearing examiner process. And so for example, for the Public Safety Civil Service Commission, they don't have this option. It's an option for the Civil Service Commission. So it's kind of an interesting situation.
So based on a recommendation by the director, I move that case number 2607001A be moved to the hearing examiner.
Can I second the motion?
Yeah.
I'll second the motion. So all in favor that this
Just one quick one. I would suggest the word delegated to.
Delegated?
Yeah, that's kind of that's the way the code and the rules and the charter are written. To be delegated to the hearing examiner.
So the motion has been moved and seconded to delegate case number 26-07-001A to the office of the hearing examiner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion has passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just one other consideration here, you've taken that vote, is that this will be a good opportunity for the commission to review that record, as Andrea said, and to then learn from that. So when future appeals come in, that you'll have a good sense about how this appeal was handled. Again, you'll make the ultimate decision, but then you'll have a good record, and based on that, it will help inform. It's one thing to do training when it's kind of academic, but this will be direct experience related to a real life situation, which can be much more instructive.
I agree because I read through the whole thing. This was a little hard.
Yeah.
This one's a little complicated already, yes.
And that's what will come out through the hearing examiner process. It'll winnow down the actual issues that are at issue related to the civil service system, as opposed to other issues that may be outside of the civil service.
I have a question. When you say read the document, read the record, so we've read the record. Is continuous like the next meeting until it's resolved in a hearing? There's conversations, or we just wait until?
Yeah, so
Those are great questions.
yeah, very good question. So you definitely don't have any communications with any of those who are involved in this matter. So the appellant in particular. So if you get any kind of communication, that would be an ex parte communication. You don't want to respond in any way. If you get any question about any communication you get, you think may be related to this matter from some outside party, let Andrew or I know, so that you don't communicate back to that person, just to make sure that you're not having an ex parte communication, because again, it will come back to you at the end. But what's going to happen, the record, this is the start of the record, but then it's going to go to the hearing examiner, and there's going to be proceedings. There's going to be, there's going to be different motions that are made. There's going to be different parts of that. That'll create a whole additional record. And then the hearing examiner will make a decision based on testimony and evidence. And then that'll be, at the end of that process, there'll be a whole set of, there'll be a complete record that'll come back to the commission. Does that make sense?
Yes, and that's when we insert ourselves again.
Yeah.
At that particular time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think what the rules set forth is that one of you three, will be assigned to be the reviewer,
Yeah, reviewing officer.
reviewing officer. So when that time comes, one of you will, you will appoint one of you to be the reviewing officer. You'll get, the recordings, you'll get the copies of the exhibits, and you'll get to, at whatever, level of review you want to do, hopefully a thorough one, look at what happened and look at what cases the parties presented and what the hearing examiner's decision or proposed decision is, and make sure, that it's hitting all of the requirements. And, you could get additional legal advice during that time, either from Ann or from Joe, or whoever is assigned to it, and make sure that, you feel on behalf of the commission that this is the right decision, or if there's more work that needs to be done, send it back. Yeah.
Another consideration we didn't talk about, but Andrew and I have talked about, is that there's, because there is such a lot of work related to this, and the hearing examiner is well positioned to do it. There's a lot of other really good work that the commission could do that this will free you up time to do, which relates to your rules, just because they're good, but a lot of them are fairly old, and they could definitely be updated. So we're hoping this year we'll take the opportunity to work with you to get some updates to those rules, and that'd be time very well spent. And which would be difficult to do if you're consumed by a hearing process right now.
And only you all can do that work. Only the commission can update its own rules. We can't delegate that to the Office of Hearing Examiner. Although they can make suggestions, and they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's sort of on our work plan for 2026 is to update some of the most important rules for the Civil Service Commission. And I think one related to, clarifying jurisdiction and what is appealable and what the commission needs in order to review an appeal.
And based on the last proceeding, there are recommendations, right? The hearing examiner,
We do have recommendations from the hearings.
Yes, that would be good to consider this year. Based on the last time that there was a delegation to the hearing examiner, because the hearing examiner operates under the civil service rules and has recommendations for some updates to those rules.
So when do you think we might start doing that work? What do you
We
think?
can start very soon. Yeah, we're putting together a proposal for you to take a look at.
Okay, good, great. All right, are we good with that one? On to item number 9, which is talking about the monthly meeting dates. So I think in our packet, we all have proposed dates for the year. My only question, because I can't remember, I'm sorry, we got a couple emails about this, is the 16th wasn't available for the second in April. The second Thursday, nor the third was available.
Yes, I believe that there is staff that is going to.
Okay, so we're going to the
16th,
fourth
so we moved it,
Thursday.
Yeah.
So those two meetings will be kind of close together, but I don't think that really matters. And for me, in September, I'm not available September 10th, but I could do September 17th.
Okay.
But I don't know how your calendars look, the rest of the commission, Steve and
I think
Right.
everyone else was fine.
oh, they were?
Yeah, I'm not available on the 10th,
Oh,
so that was because of my schedule.
I'm not available on the 10th either. So are we good with all these dates then?
I am.
So is the goal here to adopt this set of dates as the regular meeting schedule for the commission?
For this year?
Okay, but they don't have a current.
Well, they did in December, they adopted meetings on the regular Monday schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're changing
We're
to
changing,
Thursdays,
yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Swearin, do the dates on page 21 work for you?
Sorry, again, the caption is about 30 seconds behind, so we couldn't see the caption exactly, let me know. Okay, page 21. I do apologize for the technical.
It's no problem.
No.
Okay, so yes, I can be in person for the dates that are on the calendar right now. So we've got April 23rd, May 14th, September 10 or 17, both work for me. And then November 12 and 19, I can be available for either of those.
I think on those, there's going to be 2 meetings the month of November, both of those dates.
Yeah.
The 12th and the 19th. And so we're looking at April 23rd, May 14th, June 18th, July 9th, August 13th, September 17th, October 8th, November 12th, November 19th with a joint meeting with the Public Safety Civil Service Commission, and December 10th. Can I get a motion to adopt that schedule?
I move to adopt the amended, regular monthly,
So Rand,
yes.
you can just say so moved, because she just stated it very clearly.
Okay, so it's so moved.
Can I get a second? Great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion's passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Okay, new business, financial interest statements for calendar year 2025 or 2026?
Do we need an executive session?
Oh, I don't think we do we? No, sorry. Thank you, Teresa.
Yes, so as Wayne had stated that financial interest statements are due every year.
So is this for 2025 or
It is
2020?
2025 is correct, yeah, I asked the same question.
Oh, because we didn't do it last year?
No, it's just the way it's, the reporting relates to 2025. That's.
I see, you're doing it afterwards, after the fact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so,
Sounds strange, but okay. They don't know ahead of time. Right.
so there is a link, and my understanding, the last that I spoke to someone in ethics and elections, they were actually working on a link to send. So I've double checked with them to make sure that that link is going to be working. And if the link is not working, then it would come to you in paper copy.
Okay,
And I would send that as an attachment. So you should be seeing something in the next few days.
great. It seems like they try to get these in by April.
Yes, April 15th is the deadline. The
Okay,
same as tax day.
okay. Okay, thank you. We've reached the end of our agenda. Unless any commissioner has anything else for good of the order? Can I get a motion then to adjourn the meeting?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
I second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, thank you. Oh, and the time is 3:41.
2:40.
Oh, 2:41, sorry. I can't concentrate, my watch is ringing at the same time.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you, Anne.
And thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.